All right. Un momento. We're gonna do a little bit more of Samuel today. Then bonus dias, Cecil. I don't know, man. I might pull a long one today. I might pull like a 20-hour stream or something today. There's 2 VKs. If I stream in between, I don't know. But we're gonna do a little more Samuel because I'm liking Samuel so far. I'm into it. So we're gonna read a little bit of Samuel, and then once VK starts, I'll raid you guys over to there, end this stream, start another stream, and then I'll be over there. But 20 hours, we might, I don't know. I might take a nap in between the 2 VKs. I don't know, we'll see. Let's say if I win the daytime show, I keep streaming until the nighttime show. If I lose, I take a nap. Should we make that deal? All right, anyway. That's distracting. Let me stirring my coffee with my highlighter. Probably not a good idea. I finished Severance last night. No spoilers. I'm just gonna say I didn't like the ending. I liked it and I didn't like it. The ending. Let's just leave it at that. But all right, let's get into this. We are on 1 Samuel chapter 6. Remember yesterday, the Ark of the Covenant was stolen. Well, not really stolen. Eli and his sons were a mess. Phineas and Hophby, or whatever that guy's name was. They were worshiping Belial in the tabernacle, in the church. And so God was not with them. It was a dark time for Israel. God wasn't, there were no prophets. God wasn't speaking to people. It was a dark time. And their priest, his sons, were worshiping Belial. Are those ants? No, those coffee grinds. So, because of that, God brought war. The Philistines came and killed them all and took the Ark of the Covenant. Now the Ark of the Covenant's bouncing around from city to city. 2 cities. They had it in one city and everybody got infected with hemorrhoids. True story. That's what the Bible says. And so they said, we got to get rid of this thing. And they had a plague. A bunch of people were dying and everybody's got hemorrhoids. So they take it to the next city. Then everybody in that city gets hemorrhoids. And then they're like, we got to get rid of this thing. And if anybody's watching and they weren't watching yesterday and you think I'm joking, I'm not joking. I'm not joking. The word used is emerods, which translates to hemorrhoids in their strange parts or in their secret parts. What does it say? Secret parts. Emerods in their secret parts, which literally means they got hemorrhoids. And the second village, same thing happens. And they're like, we don't want this thing either. So they take it to the third village. And the third village is like, don't bring that thing anywhere near our village. We don't want it. We don't want anything to do with that thing. Also, oh, yeah. Making sure that I'm not on mute or something. And so that's where we left off. Meanwhile, Samuel is speaking to God. the last chapter, Samuel is speaking directly to God. Eli is, I think he's dead now. I don't know who that is. So we're on chapter 6. Let's get it. Chapter 6. And the ark of the Lord was in the country of the Philistines 7 months. And the Philistines called for the priests and the diviners, saying, What shall we do to the ark of the Lord? Tell us wherewith we shall send it to his place. Because they want to get rid of this thing. And they said, If ye send away the ark of God, the ark of the God of Israel, send it not empty, but in any wise return him a trespass offering, then ye shall be healed, and it shall be known to you why his hand is not removed from you. Then said they, What shall be the trespass offering which we shall return? What was that? I think I saw reflection of Echo walking out of the room in my eye. And it looked like my computer was doing something weird. Then they said, What shall be the trespass offering which we shall return to him? They answered, 5 golden emerods and 5 golden mice, according to the number of the lords of the Philistines. For one plague was on you all and on your lords. Wait. 5 golden emerods? How do you make a golden hemorrhoid? If people are listening to this, they think I'm joking. I'm not joking. How do you make a golden hemorrhoid? What would that even look like? What? Remember, this is the Philistines talking, so this is their idea of a trespass offering, a golden hemorrhoid. Amazing. And golden mice. They were plagued with mice too. Wherefore ye shall make images of your emerods and images of your mice that mar the land, and ye shall give glory unto the God of Israel. Peradventure he will lighten his hand from off you and from off your gods and from off your land. Because remember, God was they put the Ark of the Covenant in front of what was that God's name? I can't remember. It started with a D. Dandon. I should have highlighted it. Anyway, the fish god, the mermaid god, Dagon. They put the ark in front of Dagon, the mermaid god, the half fish, half man god in the Philistines, Dagon. And when they came in the next day, the statue had fallen on his face and his head had broke off and his hands broke off, and it was just a fish torso. Yeah, so God ain't playing with these gods, these lower G's. The OG ain't playing with these lower G's. I need to change this light. It's too... Let's try this. Maybe it'll make it easier to read if I go yellow. Yeah, that's a little better. Go yellow. Makes it a little easier to read. All right. From off your land. Wherefore then do ye harden your hearts as the Egyptians and Pharaoh hardened their hearts when he had wrought wonderfully among them? Did they not let the people go, and they departed? Now therefore make a new cart, and take 2 milch kine, on which there hath come no yoke, and tie the kine to the cart, and bring their calves home from them. What's a milch kine? A kine is a baby kine. We looked up kine before. A kine is a baby oxen or something. What is a milch kine? Milch kine. A milch kine is an older, less common way of saying milk cows. Literally translates to milk cows. Milch kine, milk cows. I should have known that. Take 2 milch kine, on which there hath come no yoke, and tie the kine to the cart, and bring their calves home from them. And take the ark of the Lord, and lay it upon the cart, and put the jewels of gold which ye return him for a trespass offering in a coffer by the side thereof, and send it away that it may go. And see, if it goeth up by the way of his own coast to Beth Shemesh, then he hath done us this great evil. But if not, then we shall know that it is not his hand that smote us. It was a chance that happened to us. And the men did so, and took 2 milch kine, and tied them to the cart, and shut up their calves at home. And they laid the ark of the Lord upon the cart, and the coffer with the mice of gold and the images of their emerods. That's crazy. They made gold hemorrhoids. And they're putting them with the Ark of the Covenant. Dude, how are they even touching the Ark of the Covenant, by the way? Is God just like allowing this? I guess he's just allowing it, because remember, it's a dark time, so he's not really... He's basically said, whatever, I'm going to let what happens happen. Handle it, Israel. Wipe them out, Philistines, is what he said would happen. And the kine took the straight way to the way of Beth Shemesh, and went along the highway, lowing as they went, and turning not aside to the right hand or to the left. And the lords of the Philistines went after them unto the border of Beth Shemesh. And they of Beth Shemesh were reaping their wheat harvest in the valley, and they lifted up their eyes and saw the ark and rejoiced to see it. And the cart came into the field of Joshua, a Beth Shemite, and stood there, where there was a great stone. And they clave the wood of the cart, and offered the kine a burnt offering unto the Lord. And the Levites took down the ark of the Lord, and the coffer was with it, wherein the jewels of gold were, and put them on the great stone. And the men of Beth Shemesh offered burnt offerings and sacrificed sacrifices the same day unto the Lord. And when the 5 lords of the Philistines had seen it, they returned to Ekron the same day. And these are the golden emerods which the Philistines returned for a trespass offering unto the Lord. For Ashdod 1, for Gaza 1, for Askelon 1, for Gath 1, for Ekron 1. And the golden mice, according to the number of all the cities of the Philistines, belonging to the 5 lords, both of fenced cities and of country villages, even unto the great stone of Abel, whereon they set down the ark of the Lord, which stone remaineth unto this day in the field of Joshua the Bethshemite. I'm going to see if Google has a picture of a golden emerald. Like, what? It would just look like a ball. Golden images of hemorrhoids or tumors, depending on the translation. Well, no, it said emeralds in their secret parts, or in their... Basically, it's not... Well, what would a golden emerald... Whoa! What the... What? That's not real. They didn't actually find these, did they? No way. You guys want to see what a golden emerald looks like? These can't be real. They didn't find these, which have ruined, ravaged this passage. She says that the mice did not enter their bodies, but devastated the region. They relate to the mite to the fight the inhabitants of Gyrus, an island of Cyclades, Varro, and Pliny's Natural History, and from Troas. And so it ceases to be strange that such strength that a country mice should ravish the harvest. Pliny's National History, from certain places in Israel or Italy. Cantabaria. Anyway, here's a picture of a golden emerald. Check this out. What do you guys think of that? Okay. So it's basically just a blob of gold. Great craftsmanship there. Okay, enough of that. What were the emeralds? I don't need to watch that video. I already know what they were. Okay. Where were we? Turned away, not the side of the right, on the border of Shemesh. Here we are. And the golden mice, according to the number, I already read that. Field of Josh. And he smote, And the golden mice, according to the number of all the cities of the Philistines belonging to the 5 lords, both of fenced cities and of country villages, even unto the great stone of Abel, whereon they set down the ark of the Lord, which stone remaineth unto this day in the field of Joshua the Bethshemite. This must be a different Joshua the Bethshemite? That's not OG Joshua, is it? He wasn't a Bethshemite. I don't even know what a Bethshemite is. Well, it's somebody from It's somebody from Bethshem. Joshua the Bethshemite. And he smote the men of Beth Shemesh because they had looked into the ark of the Lord. Oh, that answers my question. I had wondered, I was like, aren't they supposed to die if they even touch the ark or look in it or open it? These guys are opening the ark and putting golden mice and golden hemorrhoids into the ark of the covenant. Why are these guys still alive? It gets handled. It gets handled. He smote the men of Bethshemesh because they had looked into the ark of the Lord. Even he smote of the people 50,000 and 70 men. That's 50,070 men. 50,070, yes. And the people lamented because the Lord had smitten many of the people with a great slaughter. The Lord had smitten many of the people with a great slaughter. And the men of Bethshemesh said, who is able to stand before this holy Lord God? And to whom shall he go up from us? So the men of, pay attention here. This is important. The Lord just killed 50,065 Beth Shemesh men. And how did the people who were left of Beth Shemesh respond? They worshiped the holy Lord God. That's powerful. And to whom shall he go up from us? And they sent messengers to the inhabitants of Kirjath Jearim, saying, the Philistines have brought again the ark of the Lord. Come ye down and fetch it up to you. Chapter 7. I'd like to get through chapter 9 today, because that's when we meet Saul, and Saul gets chosen as king. So let's just keep going, because we only got 30 minutes. Un momento. All right. Chapter 7. Samuel defeats the Philistines. Because this is the people of Bethshemesh are some of the Philistines, but not all the Philistines. And the men of Kirjath Jearim came and fetched up to the ark of the Lord and brought it into the house of Abinadab in the hill and sanctified Eleazar his son to keep the ark of the Lord. And it came to pass while the ark abode in Kirjath Jearim that the time was long, for it was 20 years, and all the house of Israel lamented after the Lord. And Samuel spake, so Samuel's grown up now, and Samuel spake unto all the house of Israel, saying, if ye do return unto the Lord with all your hearts, then put away the strange gods and Ashtaroth from among you, and prepare your hearts unto the Lord, and serve him only, and he will deliver you out of the hand of the Philistines. Then the children of Israel did put away Baal, and Ashtaroth, and served the Lord only. And Samuel said, gather all Israel to Mizpeh, and I will pray for you unto the Lord. And they gathered together to Mizpeh, and drew water, and poured it out before the Lord, and fasted on that day, and said there, we have sinned against the Lord. And Samuel judged the children of Israel in Mizpeh. And when the Philistines heard that the children of Israel were gathered together to Mizpeh, The lords of the Philistines went up against Israel, and when the children of Israel heard it, they were afraid of the Philistines. And the children of Israel said to Samuel, "Cease not to cry unto the Lord our God for us, that he will save us out of the hand of the Philistines." And Samuel took a sucking lamb, that lamb getting some suck, and offered it for a burnt offering wholly unto the Lord. And Samuel cried unto the Lord for Israel, and the Lord heard him. And as Samuel was offering up the burnt offering, the Philistines drew near to battle against Israel, but the Lord thundered with a great thunder on that day upon the Philistines, and discomfited them, and they were smitten before Israel. And the men of Israel went out to Mizpeh, and pursued the Philistines, and smote them until they came under Beth-kar. Then Samuel took a stone, and set it between Mizpeh and Shen, and called the name of it Ebenezer, saying, "Hitherto hath the Lord helped us." Ebenezer means the Lord helps, or the help of the Lord, right? Oh, and Ebenezer means the stone of help. So the Philistines were subdued, and they came no more into the coast of Israel. And the hand of the Lord was against the Philistines all the days of Samuel. And the cities which the Philistines had taken from Israel were restored to Israel, from Ekron even unto Gath. And the coast thereof did Israel deliver out of the hands of the Philistines. And there was peace between Israel and the Amorites. Wow. Peace between Israel and the Amorites? That's crazy. That never happens. What up, Nayikas? If I say your name fast, chairman of the board, hello again. He's not even here. Or maybe he is. I'm in top chat, not live chat. If I go to live chat and he's saying something gross and degenerate, sounds like the... We love, yeah, propaganda. What does that even mean? What's wrong with propaganda? Propaganda is just spreading a belief or an idea. And Samuel judged Israel all the days of his life. And he went from year to year in circuit to Bethel. Did I skip a... Oh, no. We have... they're at peace with the Amorites. Crazy. Bethel and Gilgal and Mizpeh, and judged Israel in all those places. And his return was to Ramah, for there was his house, and there he judged Israel. And there he built an altar unto the Lord. So Samuel's the 14th judge now. Samuel is not a king. He never becomes a king. Saul is the first, I think. Yeah. And there he built an altar unto the Lord. Chapter 8, Israel asks for a king. Israel needs a king. They want a king. Now, Israel is going to ask for a king. But we already know that it said way back in Joshua that this would happen. So this has already been prophesied. God already said this is going to happen. One day Israel's going to want a king. They're going to want to be ruled by a man, because they're not going to want to be ruled by me. They're going to want to be ruled by a man. And there's going to be times when they have bad kings and times when they have good kings. So this has all been prophesied already. And it came to pass when Samuel was old that he made his sons judges over Israel. Now the name of his firstborn was Joel Friday, and the name of his second, Abiah. They were judges in Beersheba. And his sons walked not in his ways, but turned aside after lucre, and took bribes and perverted judgment. Lucre. There's a note here. Hold on. What does that mean? It's a reference. It's not a note. It's referencing me somewhere else. Oh, valor? Can't see. No. Let me look this up real quick. Is lucre, it's lower, I think it's a demon, or it means lucre, like love of money or something. money, especially when regarded as sordid or distasteful or gained in a dishonorable way. Very dishonorable. Very dishonorable. Lucre. Lucre. Manja. Manja, manja, manja. They're chasing the dollar bill, y'all. Cash rules everything. Lucre rules everything around me. Lareem. Get the money. Get the lucre. Dollar bill, y'all. Shekels. Gold, y'all. Lucre rules everything around me. Lareem. Get the lucre. Shekel gold, y'all. Ooh, that's hot. That's fire. That's the Israelite version of Cream from Wu-Tang Clan. It's the Jew-Tang Clan. Yo, the Jew-Tang Clan. Oh, we got to clip that. Then all the elders of Israel. I just thought of that. Dude, I'm like a genius. Cash money. That's right. All right. Lucre and took bribes and perverted judgment. Then all the elders of Israel, dude, it's like every generation. They have a good generation, a bad generation. Good generation, bad. It's like America, how we have. You're in a roll. You're on a roll. Yeah. Stop before Drake steals my bars. Oh man. Yeah, I know, and he's gonna sing them. Turn it down, turn it down. I just want some lucre, baby. Auto-tune my lucre, baby. Okay. Then all the elders of Israel gathered themselves together and came to Samuel unto Ramah and said unto him, Behold, thou art old. Speaking of bars. Also, these people are real jerks. Imagine they just walk up to you. Behold, you are old. It's like, thanks, no duh. Thanks for pointing that out. Like I didn't realize it every day when I stand up and my back hurts. Thanks for letting me know, Israel. And thy sons walk not in thy ways. Yep, thanks, Captain Obvious. Now make us a king to judge us like all the nations. But the thing displeasured Samuel when they said, Give us a king to judge us. And Samuel prayed unto the Lord. Hold on. Behold, thou art old. Now Samuel did not hear this prophecy. Joshua did. So if this was Joshua, Joshua's dead. But if this was Joshua, Joshua would be like, yeah, I knew this was going to happen. God already told me this was going to happen. And the Lord said unto Samuel, Hearken unto the voice of the people and all that they say unto thee. For they have not rejected thee, but they have rejected me, that I should not reign over them. And that's repeated. I think that was repeated. I think we read that yesterday, earlier in Samuel. And I think it's also in Psalms or something. According to all the works which they have done since the day that I brought them up out of Egypt, even unto this day, wherewith they have forsaken me and served other gods, so do they also unto thee. Now therefore hearken unto their voice. Howbeit yet protest solemnly unto them, and show them the manner of the king that shall reign over them. And Samuel told all the words of the Lord unto the people that asked of him a king. Did I already read? This sounds like a verse we just read the other day. Anyway. And Samuel told all the words of the Lord unto the people that asked of him a king, and he said, This will be the manner of the king that shall reign over you. Did I read this already? No, it's slightly different. Sometimes the chapters kind of repeat themselves, so I think that's what's happening here. Or I'm just having deja vu. I feel like I already read this, but I highlighted when I read. Hold on a second. Okay, I'm thinking of I think I'm thinking of chapter 2 is kind of similar to this. Stop. I already read that. Okay. According to all the works, I already read that. And they also unto thee. Now therefore hearken unto their voice. I already read that. And Samuel told all the words of the Lord unto the people that asked of him a king. And he said, This will be the manner of the king that shall reign over you. He will take your sons and appoint them for himself, for his chariots, and to be his horsemen. And some shall run before his chariots. And he will appoint him captains over thousands and captains over fifties, and will set them to ear his ground and to reap his harvest, and to make his instruments of war and instruments of his chariots. And he will take your daughters to be confectionaries. This is why I'm not a monarchist. I'm a theocrat. Both of them have ups and downs. We're going to see. We're going to see good kings and bad kings, just like we saw good times when Israel was a theocracy ruled by the priests and by the tabernacle and the priests, the Levites or the priests ruled. Now they're going to have a king, and we're going to see good kings and bad kings. And we saw good priests and bad priests. Saul's bad, right, Cecil? Saul's a bad guy. No? Yes? I can't remember. I'm pretty sure Saul's not a nice king. But David's a good king. Solomon's decent. Anyway. And he will take your fields and your vineyards and your olive yards, even the best of them, and give them to his servants. And he will take the tenth of your seed and of your vineyards, and give to his officers and to his servants. And he will take your men, so he's going to tax them, which they already had the tithe. They already had the tenth that they had to pay to the priests. So it's not a huge change. Now it's just going to the government instead of the priests, which were the government prior. This is why I say churches should not be 501c3, because eventually we would move towards a system where you don't have to pay taxes. You just tithe. You would just pay your taxes to the church. And he will take your men servants. Either way, you're coming off that 10%, okay? And he will take your men servants. Ain't no libertarians in the Bible. And he will take your men servants and your maid servants and your goodliest young men and your asses and put them to his work. He will take the tenth of your sheep, and ye shall be his servants. And ye shall cry out in that day because of your king, which ye shall have chosen you. And the Lord will not hear you in that day. Nevertheless, the people refused to obey the voice of Samuel, and they said, Nay, but we will have a king over us. Samuel, poor Samuel, he thinks that he's going to be able to change the prophecy that's already been made. That we also may be like all the nations, and that our king may judge us and go out before us and fight our battles. And Samuel heard all the words of the people, and he rehearsed them in the ears of the Lord. And the Lord said unto Samuel, Hearken unto their voice, and make them a king. And Samuel said unto the men of Israel, Go ye every man unto his city. All right, we're going to do one more chapter. And then it's a long chapter. And then we'll get to VK. And while Easy's doing his intro, will give me time to shut down this stream and start a new stream. I don't know. We might go to chapter 10. But I know in the day-to-day shift, sometimes people don't come in till later. So if only like one person's on, I don't want to leave it with just like one or two people on there. I want to help fill up the seats. You know what I'm saying? Chapter 9. Now there was a man of Benjamin whose name was Kish, the son of Abiel, the son of Zeror, the son of Bechorath, the son of Aphiah, a Benjamite, a mighty man of power. And he had a son whose name was Saul, a choice young man and a goodly. A choice young man and a goodly. And there was not among the children of Israel a goodlier person than he. From his shoulders and upwards, he was higher than any of the people. Oh, he's tall. And the asses of Kish, Saul's father, were lost. And Kish said to Saul his son, Take now one of the servants with thee, and arise, go seek the asses. And he passed through Mount Ephraim, and passed through the land of Shalishah, but they found them not. Then they passed through the land of Shalim, and there they were not. And he passed through the land of the Benjamites, but they found them not. And when they were come to the land of Zuph, Saul said to his servant that was with him, Come and let us return, lest my father leave caring for the asses and take thought for us. And he said unto him, Behold now, there is in this city a man of God, and he is an honorable man. All that he saith cometh surely to pass. Now let us go thither, peradventure he can show us our way that we should go. Then said Saul to his servant, But behold, if we go, what shall we bring the man? For the bread is spent in our vessels, and there is not a present to bring to the man of God. What have we? And the servant answered Saul again and said, Behold, I have here at hand the fourth part of a shekel of silver. That ain't nothing. You ain't got no emerods of gold? That will I give to the man of God to tell us our way. Before time in Israel, when a man went to inquire of God, thus he spake, Come and let us go to the seer. For he that is now called a prophet was before time called a seer. Then said Saul to his servant, Well said, come let us go. So they went unto the city where the man of God was. And as they went up to the hill of the city, they found young maidens going out to draw water. Whenever they see young maidens going out to draw water, you know somebody about to go in unto somebody. and they said unto them, Is the seer here? Is the seer here? And they answered them and said, He is. He is. Behold, he is before you. Make haste now. For he came today to the city, for there is a sacrifice of the people today in the high place. As soon as ye be come into the city, ye shall straightway find him, before he go up to the high place to eat. For the people will not eat until he come, because he doth bless the sacrifice. And afterwards they eat, that be bidden. Now therefore get you up, for about this time ye shall find him. And they went up into the city, and when they were come into the city, behold, Samuel came out against them for to go up to the high place. Now the Lord had told Samuel in his ear a day before Saul came, saying, Tomorrow, about this time, I will send thee a man out of the land of Benjamin, and thou shalt anoint him to be captain over my people Israel, that he may save my people out of the hand of the Philistines. For I have looked upon my people, because their cry is come unto me. And when Samuel saw Saul, the Lord said unto him, Behold, the man whom I spake to thee of, this same shall reign over my people. Then Saul drew near to Samuel in the gate and said, Tell me, I pray thee, where the seer's house is. And Samuel answered Saul and said, I am the seer. Go up before me unto the high place, for ye shall eat with me today, and tomorrow I will let thee go, and will tell thee all that is in thine heart. And as for thine asses that were lost 3 days ago, set not thy mind on them, for they are found. And on whom is all the desire of Israel? Is it not on thee and on all thy father's house? My pages are sticking together. And Saul answered and said, Am not I a Benjamite of the smallest of the tribes of Israel? And my family the least of all the families of the tribe of Benjamin? Wherefore then speakest thou so to me? And Samuel took Saul and his servant and brought them into the parlor and made them sit in the chiefest place among them that were bidden, which were about 30 persons. And Samuel said unto the cook, Bring the portion which I gave thee, of which I said unto thee, Set it by thee. And the cook took up the shoulder and that which was upon it, and set it before Saul. And Samuel said, Behold that which is left, set it before thee, and eat. For unto this time hath it been kept for thee, since I said, I have invited the people. So Saul did eat with Samuel that day. And when they were come down from the high place into the city, Samuel communed with Saul upon the top of the house. And they arose early, and it came to pass about the spring of the day that Samuel called Saul to the top of the house, saying, Up, that I may send thee away. And Saul arose, and they went out both of them, he and Samuel abroad. My foot's falling asleep. I love when my foot falls asleep. It's like my favorite feeling. Open it up, and they rose early, and it came to pass about the spring of the day that Samuel called Saul to the top of the house, saying, Up that I may send thee away. And Saul arose, and they went out both of them, he and Samuel abroad. And as they were going down to the end of the city, Samuel said to Saul, Bid the servant pass on before us. And he passed on. But stand thou still a while, that I may show thee the word of God. All right. Should we do chapter 10? Let's just do chapter 10, because I usually do 5 chapters a day. Let me see. We got 6 minutes till it's... What is that rumbling sound? Sounds like a darn earthquake. Storming? No. It's like rumbling outside. What the heck? All right. We'll do chapter 10 just because I usually do 5 a day. We'll do this quick because this is Samuel anoints Saul and Saul being installed as king. Okay. And then Tuesday, we can start learning more about Saul. And pretty soon, we're going to meet David. Not for a while. Not for... David gets anointed king in chapter 16. So we might not... We'll probably meet David on Tuesday. And then David will become king Wednesday in the reading. All right, chapter 10. Then Samuel took a vial of oil and poured it upon his head and kissed him and said, It is not because the Lord hath appointed thee to be captain over his... Is it not because the Lord hath appointed thee to be captain over his inheritance? When thou art departed from me today, then thou shalt find 2 men by Rachel's sepulchre in the border of Benjamin at Zelzah. And they will say unto thee, The asses which thou wentest to seek are found. And lo, thy father hath left the care of the asses, and sorroweth for you, saying, What shall I do for my son? Then shalt thou go on forward from thence, and thou shalt come to the plain of Tabor, and there shall meet thee 3 men going up to God to Bethel, one carrying 3 kids, and another carrying 3 loaves of bread, and another carrying a bottle of wine. Sounds like a party. And they will salute thee, and give thee 2 loaves of bread, which thou shalt receive of their hands. After that thou shalt come to the hill of God, where is the garrison of the Philistines. And it shall come to pass, when thou art come thither to the city, that thou shalt meet a company of prophets coming down from the high place, with a psaltery, and a tabret, and a pipe, and a harp before them. And they shall prophesy. And the Spirit of the Lord will come upon thee, and thou shalt prophesy with them, and shalt be turned into another man. And let it be, when these signs are come unto thee, that thou do as occasion serve thee, for God is with thee. And thou shalt go down before me to Gilgal, and behold, I will come down unto thee, to offer burnt offerings, and to sacrifice sacrifices of peace offerings. 7 days shalt thou tarry till I come to thee, and show thee what thou shalt do. And it was so, that when he had turned his back to go from Samuel, God gave him another heart. And all those signs came to pass that day. And when they came thither to the hill, behold, a company of prophets met him, and the Spirit of God came upon him, and he prophesied among them. And it came to pass, when all that knew him beforetime saw that, behold, he prophesied among the prophets, then the people said one to another, What is this that is come unto the son of Kish? Is Saul also among the prophets? And one of the same place answered and said, But who is their father? Therefore it became a proverb, Is Saul also among the prophets? And when he had made an end of prophesying, he came to the high place. And Saul's uncle said unto him and to his servant, Whither went ye? And he said, To seek the asses. And when we saw that they were nowhere, we came to Samuel. And Saul's uncle said, Tell me, I pray thee, what Samuel said unto you. And Saul said unto his uncle, He told us plainly that the asses were found. But of the matter of the kingdom, whereof Samuel spoke, he told him not. Whereof Samuel spake, he told him not. And Samuel called the people together unto the Lord of Mizpeh, and said unto the children of Israel, Thus saith the Lord God of Israel, I brought up Israel out of Egypt, and delivered you out of the hand of the Egyptians, and out of the hand of all kingdoms, and of them that oppressed you. And ye have this day rejected your God, who himself saved you out of all your adversaries and your tribulations. And ye have said unto him, Nay, but set a king over us. Now therefore present yourselves before the Lord by your tribes and by your thousands. And when Samuel had caused all the tribes of Israel to come near, the tribe of Benjamin was taken. When he had caused the tribe of Benjamin to come near by their families, the family of Matri was taken, and Saul the son of Kish was taken, and when they sought him, he could not be found. Therefore they inquired of the Lord further, if the man should yet come thither, and the Lord answered, Behold, he hath hid himself among the stuff. And they ran and fetched him thence, and when he stood among the people, he was higher than any of the people from his shoulders and upwards, and upward. From his shoulder and upward. So Samuel, most people only come up to Samuel's shoulder, is what it's saying. Saul. Saul is very tall. Saul is tall. I saw Saul, and Saul was tall. See Saul is tall. Red leather. And Samuel said to all the people, See ye him whom the Lord hath chosen, that there is none like him among all the people. And all the people shouted and said, God save the king. Then Samuel told the people the manner of the kingdom, and wrote it in a book, and laid it up before the Lord. And Samuel sent all the people away, every man to his house. And Saul also went home to Gibeah, and there went with him a band of men, whose hearts God had touched. But the children of Belial said, How shall this man save us? And they despised him, and brought him no presents, but he held his peace. These dang Belial worshippers gotta go. They just gotta die. You just gotta die. They just gotta die. Okay. We got 5 chapters in there in an hour. See, it's much quicker when I just read and I don't dilly-dally and stop and talk about stuff every 2 seconds. Let's see if VK has started yet. It's only 10:01, so it should start on time because dude, how am I not a dang UVC belt holder? But these people, well, they're nice, but they haven't even been on Easy Channel in months. You can't just be, this is like John Jones, the UVC belt. 2 of these UVC belt holders are like John Jones. You know, John Jones is about to be the longest continuous heavyweight belt holder. Right now he's 2nd place, and he's going to surpass the other guy soon. That's why he doesn't want to fight Tom Aspinall, because he wants to be the longest running belt holder. And but he's not. He doesn't fight. Like, he's fought for the heavyweight belt. He went up a weight class when he fought Cyril Gane. And then he fought that one big guy. I forget his name. Dude with the ponytail. And then he fought not Usman, that's a different weight class. Who did he fight? He's only fought like twice in like 4 years. He's just holding the belt. Just holding the belt. Can't do that, John. If he doesn't fight Tom Aspinall by October, he needs to relinquish that belt. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. All right, guys, I'm gonna end this stream and then I'm just gonna start up another stream and I'll be right back for the VK stream. And I don't know, I might not go all day. I'll make a deal with you. If I win the first VK, I'll just keep streaming until the second VK, all through the second VK, and I'll still do the night panel afterwards. But there's only 4 people here in this deal, so 5 people, 6 people. So yeah. And I'm on like 5 hours of sleep. I've been up since last night at 8 p.m. I worked all night. I didn't go to the gym today because I worked overtime for an hour. Came home, did this. I'm already exhausted. So let's see if we can just stream for 20 hours. How about that? Just wait to go to VK at night? No, I'm going to do both. Whenever there's 2 of them, I always do both. I won the first daytime one. Oh, that's Bumpkin. What up, Bumpkin? It's all right. They I don't know. Don't worry, I'm not big competition, Bumpkin. Nobody respects the gangsta of JS. I'm speaking of myself in the third person. That's crazy. What looks good? Purple, teal, or purple with this shirt? Purple? We'll see what that purple looking like. What that purple do? That purple. What about red? What about green? I think I like the... Is that purple or blue? That's blue, right? That's purple. Maybe we'll do this for daytime and then we'll do something different at nighttime. But all right. Well, I'm trying to wait till he starts the stream so I can raid you over there. As soon as he starts the VK, I'll raid us over there. Until then, there's some spicy topics today too. The not probable cause, but the due process one I just debated with Aiden the other day. I think I bodied him. The moon landing one. Oh, Lord. That's going to get me kicked off of the moon landing one. I used to be a moon landing denier, you know? I used to be one. And then I got smart. Uh, 2 a.m. now, 9 a.m. Should start any minute. Let's see. What is that rumbling? Oh, I wonder if I bet you they're on the roof. I bet they're on the roof turning on the swamp coolers. I bet that's what it is. They're doing something on the roof. The building keeps shaking. What do you guys want to do? You want to listen to some what was that song I listened to? No, not Red Pill, but this album. This is the album. I just want this album. West Side Story. No, hold on. This album. I think this might be my favorite.
Tech savings you'll love are at Best Buy.
From Tyson. What's the song I'm thinking of? The devil wanna race one. It's for some bias. Nah. That's not what I'm thinking of. What's on this album?
I'll be staggered if something substantial, what most people would refer to as a black.
No, I've already played these recently on the stream.
The lyrics are awful, but it's well produced. It sounds professional.
Everybody Balenciaga.
So it's easy to hear those things and not fully take in the messaging in those words. It's so sinister. And putting out
Hope he's not waiting for me to stop streaming. I'm waiting for him to start streaming so I can stop streaming and send you to him.
Dangerous.
And they say that we dangerous, dangerous. Not too many that can hang with us. Some other Christians think the same as us. Same as us, they playing games, they'll never bang with us. We dangerous. They say that we dangerous, dangerous. Not too many that can hang with us. Some other Christians ain't the same as us.
This makes me look more tropical.
Playing games, they'll never bang with us. We dangerous. They label us extreme, probably because I got the beam and I got the living water. I'm connected to the stream. The Holy Spirit speaking to me lately in my dreams. LeBron and never be a king. Jesus coming with the rings.
He undefeated.
I guess I'm worse off than the rest. Took out your favorite rapper, they still calling me a guest. I passed the test, they wanna ban my name. Such a sad thing, cats and lame. They wanna Andrew Tate me, that's their campaign. Sad to say, they pushing evil on the kids now. This is where we stand and this is where we put our fists down. Twisting up the Bible just to fit you, won't you sit down? Sin don't get you lit, so don't you slip, forget your chip now. Bill Gates
buying up the farmland.
Elon putting chips up in your brain, but what's the harm, man? I'm the scary guy, not very wise, look at your heart, man. You let him put the poison in your arm, but I'm the harsh man. I told you about the dark plan. They say that we dangerous, dangerous. Not too many that can hang with us. Hang with us. Some other Christians ain't the same as us. Same as us, they playing games, they'll never bang with us. We dangerous. They say that we dangerous, dangerous. Not too many that can hang with us. Hang with us. Some other Christians ain't the same as us. Same as us, they playing games, they'll never bang with us. We dangerous. Some other Christians don't get banned like us. We dangerous. Probably high up on the cannabis. That angel dust. I can see they very glamorous, but flavorless. They working overtime to cancel us. We dangerous. Danger, danger. Going Power Ranger, now it's time to shine. They label me a threat, I know that I've been on their mind. My music is the devil, wait for Cardi B's is fine. Never settle, go to war with all the demons on the down. Hey, get the 9, I'm going boom, boom, boom on your fact check. We just want the truth, we see you commies with the tactics. We giving the facts about the vax, forget your lab techs. About to go galactic with the hatchet on your fat necks. I'm born again, but y'all keep making me repent now. I know my breastplate is straight, got a couple dents now. Know I'll probably make it into heaven looking spent now. At least I'll fit in with the disciples, I'm content now. They say dangerous, dangerous. Not too many that can hang with us. Hang with us. Some other Christians ain't the same as us. Same as us, they playing games, they'll never bang with us. We dangerous, and they say that we dangerous. Dangerous, not too many that can hang with us. Hang with us. Some other Christians ain't the same as us. Same as us, they playing games, they'll never bang with us. We dangerous.
Liberty Mutual.
Liberty. Liberty.
Way down.
I don't know when everything went so woke. Why is there a feminist in every TV show?
I don't know when everything went so woke. Why is there a feminist in every TV show? I can't watch a movie without seeing rainbows. I can't find a male music artist not wearing girl clothes. I can read your mind, I should be bent on everything. I'm a hateful bigot in everything I say.
Look at Fuentes.
I should believe all women because every girl is a queen. Tell me something I don't know. Cause while y'all are so predictable, everything's political. Why are y'all so sad and miserable? I think you're mad because I'm happy. You want me unhappy. Just maybe I'm not the one that's crazy. Maybe it's all y'all that think men can't have babies. Now you hate me, but it doesn't faze me. I wouldn't wear a dress even if a label paid me. I know I can read your mind. I should be bent on everything. I'm a hateful bigot and everything I say is so mean. I should believe all women because every girl is a queen. Tell me something I don't know. Cause while y'all are so predictable, everything's political. Why are y'all so sad and miserable? I think you're mad because I'm happy. You want me unhappy.
You can tell he rented this house for this video, or it's like a house for sale, like a house showing, because there's still stickers on all the windows. Look, when she walks in the door, you can see the like this is a house, this is like a model house that's being shown. Or he just bought this house. Maybe he just made enough money to buy a house and he hasn't taken the stickers off yet. But I think they just recorded this video at a house that was for sale.
Think you're mad because I'm happy. You want me unhappy. But I'm like, why are y'all so predictable? Everything's political. Why are y'all so sad and miserable? I think you're mad because I'm happy. You want me unhappy.
Is the stream buffering for anybody? Is the stream buffering for everybody? It says excellent connection. Are we still streaming? Dude, I can hear I hear like 10 times better with these headphones on. Is it buffering for anybody else? Let me see. Maybe if I refresh. Oh, no, I guess we're good.
And I'm like, wow, y'all are so predictable. Everything's political. Why are y'all so sad and miserable? I think you're mad because I'm happy. You want me unhappy.
He must have just bought this house. But why would you spray silly string all over a house you just bought?
I can read your mind. I should be bent on everything. I'm a hateful bigot and everything I say is so mean. I should believe all women because every girl is a queen. Tell me something I don't know.
Doesn't bigot have 2 G's in it? No, I guess it only has 1. Huh. Lil Wayne and J. Cole. Father, forgive me. This is not real, is it? That's not real. Could be real because Carter 6 is coming out. Or, yeah, Carter 6 is coming out soon. I think Daddy Jub said June. Ooh, they got Holloway versus Poirier 2 on free fights right now. Because Holloway versus Poirier 3 is coming soon. To a town near you. Oh, you know what I learned today? The graphics card that I want comes with Doom, the newest Doom game. I forget what it's called. It's called like Dead Castle or something. Doom something. Medieval something. It comes with that game for free. So I get, as long as I get the computer built by the 26th of this month, I get Monster Hunter Wilds for free with my CPU, but I have to claim it by the 26th of this month. And I was like, well, I should just claim it on the laptop and download it, even though I won't be able to play it on this computer. It'll still be in my Steam, but I have to claim it, I have to be using the CPU that I bought. So I need to, it's going to be close. I might not end up getting Monster Hunter Wilds for free. Because I'm going to have the money for the GPU on the 20th. I don't know. I might order the graphics card with my savings and then just replace my savings on the 20th. That way I can get it built before, I need to build it before the 26th. So if I get the money for the GPU on the 20th, order the GPU, and the 26th is a Monday, I need to, and the 20th is a Tuesday when I get paid. So I get paid on the 20th, order it on the 20th. I need to get it in the mail by Friday. And then that way, Friday and Saturday night while I'm streaming, I can build it. We'll probably wait till Saturday night. Wonder if there's any fights on the... What day is that? Ideally, the plan is order the GPU on the 20th. And then build it on Saturday the 24th. Overnight. So finish it on the 25th. And then claim Monster Hunter. So I need to build it, get everything running, download Steam, claim the prize, all Saturday night and Sunday morning. Let's see what fights are on the 20. Let's see what fights we got on the 24th. So we're going to be building it while we watch the fights. Hopefully that's not a pay-per-view. Tomorrow night we have Figueiredo versus Sandhagen. That's going to be a good fight. And Bo Nichols fighting tomorrow. And Ponzinibbio and Daniel Rodriguez. That's going to... some good fights tomorrow night, actually. And it starts at 8 p.m. Let's go. The main event starts at 8 p.m. I like when they start at 8 because then I don't miss them. Let's see who's on the preliminary card. I'm probably a lot of girl fights on the preliminary card. Yeah. 3 girl fights on the prelims. I'll be fine. Ryan Loder's on the prelim. That's decent. 3 women fights. And most of them suck, except Misha Tate. And she's kind of washed up. But the main card, there's no women fighting on the main card. The main card's going to be good tomorrow night. And it starts at 8, so we'll be able to watch that. Nice. But who is fighting on the 24th? And then next week is UFC 315. Jose Aldo. If you like women fights, Alexa Grasso and Shevchenko are fighting. I love Shevchenko, but is that a championship fight? Manyan Fariat. I don't know if that's for the belt, though. I don't know if they're fighting for the belt. But the main fight is Jack Della Maddalena versus Bilal Muhammad. Whatever. I'm not super excited about UFC 315. I do like Shevchenko, though. 17th. Gilbert Burns fighting on the 17th. Fight night. There is no fights on the 24th. Perfect. Saturday the 24th, which is when I am, if everything goes according to plan, is when I'm going to be building the computer. Unless, I mean, I could just use my savings and order the GPU with my savings on this Tuesday. I don't know. Then I would just have to replace my savings with my paycheck. I don't like doing that, but I could do that. That would actually be perfect because there's no fights on the 24th. All I'm worried about is getting it done in time to get my free Monster Hunter. That's like a $70 game. Anyway, I was gonna Google to see if this song is real. I'm not gonna play it because we're still technically in a Bible stream, so. Yeah, this is fake. I think they only have one song together. But I don't know this. No, this is fake. It's gotta be fake. Well, I don't know, Bumpkin. I don't know. Is it started? And I'm not. Yeah, YouTube does auto adjust the time zones. He's gonna have to. I don't know. I could have kept reading the Bible.
God gave me two options. Take the blue pill, stay where you're at with your sorry self and your mediocre life, or take the red pill, be born again. Step into the unknown, and I will reveal mysteries to you. Which one you want? Wake up, read the Bible. Better get yourself a rifle. I'm in it for survival. I get it how I'm living, and I win. I better get into revival. I don't care about the title. Blue pill, green pill, white pill, red. You can't see because you are dead. You can't breathe, be born again. You're not free, you're in a den. Y'all claim y'all woke. Y'all playing y'all jokes. Y'all playing yourself. Y'all take that poke. That COVID-19, y'all take a vaccine. I'll break that hoax. Y'all won't smoke, stop playing around. Press pass on my land, I'll be laying it down. Fast in advance, you don't stand a chance. I got a wall of fire, I'll be bringing it down, man. Y'all need the gospel. Y'all don't wanna pop bottles. Y'all don't want a job, y'all just wanna be coddled. Y'all don't wanna talk, you just wanna be hostile. There ain't too many guys like me. Put it down for God, expose lies like me. But you don't wanna get real, I might get killed, but forget it, give me the red pill. Now that I can see you took the chains that bound me, now I'm free. I was lost and I was gone, exhausted, steady, walking on a treadmill. Now I'm born again, I took a chance with the red pill. Now that I can see you took the chains that bound me, now I'm free. I was lost and I was gone, exhausted, steady, walking on a treadmill. Now I'm born again, I took a chance with the red pill.
Get your head filled with these red pills. Speak about love, read Revelation. Do you think he dead still? Antifa running mouths just like it's on the treadmill. Are you a Christian? No, just talk the talk with your legs still. Ooh, the word is the word, do not add or subtract. Exercise Second Amendment, don't laugh. Don't care if you white, brown, yellow, or you black. Grab you a Bible and get you a strap. Dribble like confused with pronouns and genders. Evil come from Christians and the good come from sinners. I know this may come as a surprise to beginners, but we have been waiting because we remember what we was told. Satan is coming for all of our souls. They killing babies, just look at the toe. They want division while they take control. Have to get loud and we have to get bold. Stand on our beliefs and show them we won't fold. They take advantage when we let them go. It's time to get up and just let them all know. We would not bow down, then we do negotiate. I want to serve God, get married, then procreate. My job is to spread the word. Do you even know the faith? You can't stop it now, my G. You should know you late.
Now that I can see I could see you took the chains about me, now I'm free. I was lost and I was gone, exhausted, steady, walking on a treadmill. Now I'm born again, I took a chance with the red pill. Now that I can see you took the chains about me, now I'm free. I was lost and I was gone, exhausted, steady, walking on a treadmill. Now I'm born again, I took a chance with the red pill. Now that I can see you took the chains about me, now I'm free. I was lost and I was gone, exhausted, steady, walking on.
Not yet. Close. What verse? What chapter is that? You should. Are you still here, Shiva? I don't know why people get so like bent out of shape about the Amalekites. Like, there's a lot of other people who get wiped out. Dude, the Philistines, 3 different cities got infected with hemorrhoids. Y'all are worried about Amalekites. Like, that's the first people that got wiped out. 15? No, we're on chapter 11. We'll get to that tomorrow. I've actually, as I've been going through this, I've highlighted every mention of Amalek, because you're always asking why they do that, why it's justified. And I think we've been counting, and I think we've had 15 mentions. Not 15. I think we've had 8. Why did I think 15? I think we've had 8 different mentions of Amalek and the Amalekites leading up to when they get wiped out. They're not nice people. There's no bueno. It's not good. A whole bunch of others. Dude, the Amorites, the Midianites, the Jebusites, the Perizzites, the Hittites, the all of them. All of them. And a lot of those were where the giants were. They had to get rid of these giants. Multiple times. 30,000 here, 10,000 here. The AI. Have you ever seen this channel? You would like this channel, I think, Shiva. It's Joe AI Debates. Joe Olsuik or John Siuk. Anyway, this channel's awesome. It's pronounced I. Oh, yeah. I think it's pronounced IE. But maybe you're right. I thought you were saying AI, and that made me think of this. But anyway, this guy has 2 AIs debate each other. And then and it's usually about religious topics, but he'll have 2 AIs debate each other, and then he'll have 5 AI judges judge the debate. And surprisingly, does God exist? Yes or no? The AI always leans toward, and now maybe this is because of like America is a majority Christian, but the pro God side always wins. So they have one, Israel versus Palestine. Don't think I ever got to this one, but majority of the AIs say it's Israel. Are Mormons Christian? I haven't listened to that one yet. But God, yes or no? All of the AIs said that the pro God side won the debate. That's Google, that's Grok, that's all of the AIs. But there's one that I just watched the other day. Death penalty, yes or no? Deport illegals. Wait, I was listening to this one? Which is the one I'm listening to? It's about the Amalekites. Free will. I'm pretty sure Libertarian Free Will won this one. Jesus is God. There's a Muslim versus a Christian. Muslim AI versus a Christian AI. Did he take the video down? Huh. This is all the videos. What? Maybe he took it down. Anyway, it was about the Amalekites, and I already knew all the arguments, so the AI made all the arguments that I would make. But the AI leaned on basically the argument from wartime hyperbole, basically, that destroy all the Amalekites was wartime hyperbole. It's just hyperbole. It's just, you know, it says if I say we wiped out Hiroshima and Nagasaki, we wiped out Japan, we destroyed Japan. America didn't actually destroy Japan, just like they didn't actually kill all the Amalekites, because in the next chapter there's still Amalekites left. So the argument is that it's just hyperbole. Who's writing it, the person writing it is writing using like war hyperbole. Can you put the link in the chat? But this channel is really cool. I love listening to these. Let's see if there's some that I haven't heard. The next pope.
Should the new pope be a reformer like Francis?
I want progress, change.
Or pivot back to a more traditional emphasis? We've configured advanced AIs, each trained on vast amounts of Catholic sources, to debate this critical question, then enlisted the world's top large language models to judge their arguments.
It's very interesting.
You got my attention.
No human emotions here, just solid arguments. Stick around to see who wins, but don't cheat yourself by skipping ahead. I do recognize that Catholic beliefs span a wide range, but these two visions represent today's clearest theological divide. Each debater has prepared questions for their opponent. We begin with sexual ethics.
Let me tackle that point first. The progressive camp often urges a re-examination of teachings on contraception.
But the traditional, or like the Christian side, is always like an Afro woman. It's always
sexuality, etc. But Blessed Paul VI in Humanae Vitae taught unequivocally that each and every marriage act, quilibet matrimoni usus, must remain open to the transmission of life, reaffirming the long-standing ban on artificial contraception. Likewise, the Catechism, reflecting scripture and tradition,
condoms.
says homosexual acts are intrinsically disordered. Under no circumstances can they be approved.
Hey, Utah homeowners, you can replace your old
Pope Francis
AC unit at
disagreed,
no
I
cost.
guess.
Funding are now available.
These are not popular teachings today, but the Church has consistently upheld them as truths about human nature and God's plan. If the next Pope continues Francis's progressive approach, do you expect him to overturn such teachings?
I don't believe a progressive pope would compromise doctrine.
Yes,
he
he
would conserve
would.
the faith's substance while updating its application and emphasis as the Holy Spirit leads. A progressive pope would not declare contraception moral or homosexual acts holy overnight. That would indeed
No, they would slowly progress us into it. That's not any better.
conflict with established
Us.
teaching.
I say us like I'm Catholic. I'm not Catholic. I mean the Catholic Church.
However, there is room for development in understanding and pastoral application. For instance, Pope Francis didn't change doctrine on sexual morality, but he did famously say, if someone is gay and he searches for the Lord and has goodwill, who am I to judge? That wasn't a green light to gay sex. It was a new pastoral tone, emphasizing respect for the person.
Didn't they say they
In
would
fact,
recognize
the Catechism
marriages, though?
itself, after calling homosexual inclination disordered, immediately says, they must be accepted with respect, compassion, and sensitivity. Every sign of unjust discrimination in their regard.
He also told him to stop wearing pink because he said there were too much fogosino in the church, which is like Latin for the bundle of sticks words.
Should be avoided. A leftist pope would loudly echo that part of the teaching, the call to compassion, which a conservative might understate. Similarly, on
Italian or
contraception, Maybe a progressive pope would not revoke Humanae Vitae, but he might emphasize the role of conscience and the complexities couples face. Some theologians note that Humanae Vitae itself encouraged doctors and pastors to be compassionate, and that responsible parenthood can involve spacing births morally. Also, consider Pope Francis's Amoris Laetitia regarding divorced and civilly remarried Catholics. He didn't change the teaching on marriage, but he opened a door to pastoral discernment in admitting some to communion, causing debate. A future progressive pope could apply that principle elsewhere, holding
You better
to the
have a
ideal,
good rebuttal.
but finding pathways to integrate those who fall short
Is
in
this
hope
timed?
of gradual growth in holiness. So
Don't
no,
let him-
I don't envision a reform-minded pope ripping up
Don't
the
let him
rule book on
steamroll.
sexuality.
Traditional
Rather,
AI?
he'd keep the rules, but focus on accompanying people, helping them understand and live church teaching step by step with mercy if they stumble.
I think he gets
This
2
aligns
minutes.
with Jesus' approach. He upheld a high moral standard, be perfect, Matthew 5:48, yet met people where they were. Think of the Samaritan.
That was a very specific selection of words there. I agree. It does tell us to be perfect, but they just picked 2 words. They couldn't even quote the whole verse. At least quote the whole verse. That's not the whole verse.
Samaritan woman
It's be perfect as your Father in heaven is perfect.
at the well. In short, the difference might be emphasis. A pope continuing Francis's path, emphasizing the primacy of conscience,
Doesn't really change the
importance
context,
of
but-
inclusivity, and the gradualness of moral growth, without formally denying what the church teaches as true. Now, let's address the role of women in the church, a significant point for many. A leftist pope would likely expand women's leadership roles in curial positions, teaching, etc., and perhaps revisit the question of female deacons. A conservative would say the line is already drawn. For instance, Pope John Paul II declared definitively that the church has no authority to ordain women as priests. Given that teaching, which I'm not disputing.
So he went to the Bible. I hope she goes to the Bible and goes to 2 Timothy, goes to Leviticus 18, goes to countless Romans, Revelation. I hope this traditional AI brings up some scripture to refute all of this mess.
Here, what harm would there be in a progressive pope finding new ways to value women's contributions? Do you fear even that could lead to doctrinal slippage? Or
Did they
would you
get a
concede that
response?
a pope who continues Francis's direction might help heal some of the hurt women feel in the church?
I'll admit a
Okay,
progressive
here we go.
pope might push further, perhaps appointing a woman to head a major Vatican office for the first time, or
Secretary.
creating new ministries for women. The fear comes when some use these steps as a Trojan horse
Facts.
to renew pressure for women's ordination. The consistent teaching.
The Shakaroni's back at
Here we
Papa
go.
John's with
We're
more
getting to the
pepperoni than
scripture. We're getting to the scripture. Tell us about how women are supposed to be silent in the church.
Is he always?
From Scripture's example of Jesus choosing male apostles, and the church's constant practice is that ordaining women as priests is not in the authority of the church. A pope emphasizing traditional doctrine will be crystal clear on that point to avoid confusion or false hopes. A pope continuing...
They always talk about Ruth like Ruth did something. What about Ruth? What about Ruth? Did you even read the book of Ruth, lady? Ruth was not a judge. She was not a priest. She was not... All she did was marry a dude and make some babies. She was based, but she was never in a position of power. They act like she was like queen or something. She was never a queen. She was never even a judge.
Forms might be tempted or pressured by media and secular voices to revisit it, which
She
could
was
lead to
David's
disunity or
great-grandma.
even schism, since many Catholics, not just hierarchs, but lay people too, would see that as defying
baby?
apostolic tradition. But if we're talking about valuing women, absolutely, a more traditional pope can and should do that too. Look at Mother Angelica, a cloistered nun who founded a global Catholic TV network, or the countless women saints who advised popes,
Awesome.
St. Catherine of Siena, for example. The church already affirms women's equal dignity and...
Dude, they made that kid that died a saint because he made like a Catholic website. That's crazy. My grandma's name is Ruth. Nice.
indispensable role, as Vatican II did in Gaudium et Spes. The only caution is, a pope of either stripe must be honest that sacramental ordination to the priesthood is not on the table.
Really?
A progressive pope could,
Boaz.
however, commission more...
Was his name Boaz? Boaz wasn't a judge either, though. Neither of them were judges. Neither of them... There's no stories of like Ruth leading an army. People will bring up Ruth. If you say women shouldn't lead the church, oftentimes, and I've heard this on many call-in shows and debate panel shows and things like that, a lot of women will often bring up Ruth. And I hope one of them does that with me one day, because I'm going to be like, tell me the story of Ruth. What did Ruth do? They obviously don't know the story. Walter? His name is Walter. I never met a young Ruth.
More study on the history of women deacons. There's an active debate if those were the same as today's deacons or something different. He might consider some form of blessing or institution for women in certain ministries. A more traditional pope might or might not do that. They tend to be more hesitant if it might blur the line toward holy orders. So yes, a reform-minded pope might feel the pain of women who feel excluded and make strong symbolic moves to show the church's appreciation and incorporation of women's gifts. I'd applaud all genuine developments there. I'd only warn against sowing expectations that cannot be fulfilled, like priesthood, as that only leads to disappointment and division. Now, turning back to a broader issue, the church's stance in the face of secular culture. A more traditional pope often emphasizes truth and the need to resist relativism. Pope Benedict XVI famously spoke of a dictatorship of relativism that recognizes nothing as definitive. He believed the church must stand against a tide that says there's no absolute truth. My question for you, how would a progressive pope maintain the integrity of Catholic teaching when engaging a world that often outright rejects the church's morals?
Progressive and pope don't even go together. It's an oxymoron.
Stands on issues like abortion, euthanasia, gender ideology, etc. Critics sometimes say a liberal Catholicism ends up indistinguishable from secular humanism.
The concern about relativism is valid, but I'd contest the notion that
the only difference is like the sacraments they do and the rituals and the habits that they have. Otherwise, it's no different.
Progressive pope would be lax on truth. Take Pope Francis as an example, often labeled liberal, yet he has repeatedly spoken against gender ideology, saying we must not ignore the created difference of male and female, and strongly defended the unborn.
Pope went woke.
The
No,
unborn
Pope went
are the most innocent and defenseless.
Pope ain't woke no more.
So a progressive pope isn't automatically a squish on doctrine. The key difference is tone and method, not abandonment of truth. A reform-minded pope might be more willing to listen and dialogue with the secular world, following the approach of St. Paul at the Areopagus, who engaged Greek culture. Dialogue doesn't mean agreement. It means finding common ground where possible, e.g. on human rights or care for the poor, and using that as a bridge to share the gospel. Relativism.
Care for the poor is not a liberal thing, though. Like, charity, church charity could still happen under a theocracy or under a monarchy. I shouldn't laugh. Yeah.
The idea that all
gave me the
truths are
layup.
equal or subjective is something every pope will reject. A progressive pope might fight it differently. Instead of frequently condemning the errors of society from a distance, he might enter the conversation of society, showing how Catholic truth fulfills the deeper desires of modern people. You mention abortion, euthanasia, etc. I don't see any pope reversing the church's firm pro-life doctrine. Those are settled. But a progressive pope might reframe the presentation. For example, tying the anti-abortion stance to a consistent ethic of life, opposing war, the death penalty, which Francis already declared inadmissible in the Catechism, caring for migrants and the poor, to show it's about a comprehensive love for human life at all stages. This can actually make our moral teachings more compelling, not less.
Yeah, and this is why lefties will always say, conservatives only care about the baby in the womb. They don't care about the baby after it's born. Christians and conservatives don't care about the baby after it's born. What are you talking about? Christians adopt more than anybody else. Christians give more to charity than anybody else. We do care about the child after it's born and before it's born. That's nonsense.
It answers the charge that pro-lifers only care about unborn, not the born.
You see?
This is actually a case where a progressive strategy could
You see? See how progressives think? I already knew what they were going to say.
Strengthen the credibility of doctrine by showing coherence and compassion. As for gender and sexuality, a pope continuing Francis's reforms would maintain, I believe, the core teachings, male-female complementarity, the sacrament of marriage, etc. But he might approach with the language of listening and accompaniment espoused in Pope Francis's Amoris Laetitia. The truth isn't watered down, but it's presented as an invitation rather than a condemnation. For example, instead of just stating
So tone policing. It's just tone. We got to talk nice. Talk nice to him. That's the difference between a progressive and a traditional pope, is talking nice.
X is intrinsically disordered, he might start with, "We see your dignity and we walk with you, seeking together how to live God's design." The doctrine remains, the approach shifts. Let's delve into global issues directly. One pressing matter is migration. Pope Francis, whom we keep referencing as an example of a progressive approach, was passionate about welcoming migrants and refugees, even when it was unpopular.
And on the Pierce Morgan thing, they were talking about this the other day, because the Pope called out Trump for the deportations and stuff. And then Trump clapped back and he said if ISIS was raiding the Vatican right now, you would wish I was president. Or this was under Biden or something. But or you're going to wish I was president, or you would want me to be president, or something like that. And somebody on Pierce Morgan's show made the point that was glaringly obvious. The Vatican is crazy protected. They got walls.
Traditional approach might put more stress on law, order, and caution. Scripture repeatedly commands care for the stranger. "I was a stranger, and you welcomed me," says Christ.
Okay, now go to the part where it says if the stranger doesn't assimilate, that you should stone them and light them on fire. Anyone who passes the child through the fire, any sojourner or stranger who passes a child through the fire should be stoned to death. That's talking about you care for the stranger and the sojourner. You love them and you care for them, but they need to assimilate. They need to take part in your traditions. And if they don't, anyone who comes to Israel as a stranger, if they pass a child through the fire, meaning if they sacrifice their child to Moloch, you stone them to death. You have to assimilate.
Christ. "And you shall love the alien as yourself." How would a pope who pivots back toward
you should love the alien as yourself? Does it say that? What translation is that? Matthew 25:35-40. I don't like this progressive guy quoting more scripture than the traditional person is. But it's traditional Catholic, so they care more about what is this, Matthew? Does it say alien? I have a Bible right next to me. What am I Googling for? Matthew 25:35-40. Look, it's already highlighted. "But in that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also be the coming of the Son of Man. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew not until the flood came and took them into the should live in the field. None shall be taken, and the other left. 2 women shall be grinding at the mill, the other one shall be taken, and the other left. Once therefore ye know not the hour which the Lord doth come." This is not. Oh, that's Matthew 24. Whoops. I need to go to Matthew 25. I don't have that highlighted. "For I was hungry and you gave me meat. I was thirsty, you gave me drink. I was a stranger and you took me in. Naked and you clothed me. I was sick and you visited me. I was in prison and you came unto me. Then shall the righteous answer him, saying, Lord, when they saw we thee and hungered and fed thee, or thirsty and gave thee drink, when saw we thee a stranger and took them in, or naked and clothed thee? When saw the sick in prison and came unto thee? And the king shall answer and say unto them, Verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these my brethren, ye have done it unto me." Where does he get alien out of that?
Christ. "And you shall love the alien."
Oh, Leviticus 19. Yeah. Don't see, he's skipping, or he's He's cherry picking right here. Because if you keep reading Leviticus 19:34, look, it's already highlighted. But the stranger that dwelleth with you shall be unto you as one born among you, and thou shalt love him as thyself, for ye were strangers in the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. Hold on. Yeah, the whole lead up to that, this is laws of morality. The whole lead up to that is things you should not do. It doesn't say alien. I don't know what translation they're using. They're selective. They're picking that word, love the alien as yourself. It doesn't say that. It says the stranger that dwelleth in your land shall be unto you as one born among you, and thou shalt love him as thyself. For ye were strangers in the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. But they ignore the parts where it talks about the stranger has to assimilate. If they do any of their traditions in your land, you stone them to death. They also have to be welcomed in. If there is a wall, you don't get to just break through the wall.
Alien as yourself. How would a pope who pivots back toward theological conservatism respond to the global migration crisis? Would he risk appearing unchristlike in the eyes of the world by emphasizing border security or national sovereignty? Why not embrace a pope who will carry the banner of compassion for migrants more boldly, in line with Jesus' teaching?
So he's quoting from Leviticus. Dude. You don't think Israel had national sovereignty? Dude, Israel was wiping people out left and right. They were also taking slaves.
A more traditional pope would absolutely affirm our duty to help those in need, feeding the hungry, sheltering the homeless, welcoming the refugee. These are direct from Matthew 25, as you note. So there's no daylight between traditionalists and reformists on the moral principle. We must love and care for migrants. The difference might be an emphasis on prudence and implementation. The church's teaching, interestingly, balances both the right to migrate and the right of nations to manage immigration. The Catechism states that prosperous nations are obliged, to the extent they are able, to welcome the foreigner seeking security and livelihood. It immediately adds that political authorities may enforce conditions on immigration, and immigrants must respect the laws of the host country. A pope emphasizing traditional approaches would likely highlight that second part a bit more than...
You want to go Leviticus with migration, that's fine. If somebody comes into the country and doesn't do what we do in this culture, we stone them to death.
A progressive might, not to deny anyone's dignity, but to acknowledge that uncontrolled migration can lead to chaos, social upheaval, even conflict, which ultimately harms both migrants and natives. Think of Pope Benedict XVI, whose approach was more traditional. No one would call him uncompassionate. He, in fact, pleaded for humane treatment of migrants. But he also said states have a right to regulate migration flows, and immigrants have a duty to integrate and respect the culture and laws of their new home.
What'd I say?
A pope maintaining traditional teachings would echo that twofold message: generosity and realism. The Good Samaritan cared for the injured man, but in a context where law and order, the inn, payment for services, etc., facilitated that care. So how would a more traditional pope look in practice? He might encourage Catholics to personally assist migrants and refugees, but he might also caution against naive politics. For instance, if Europe or any region simply throws open borders without any order, it could fuel crime, like human trafficking, or political backlash. We see the rise of anti-immigrant populism as a reaction, which ironically hurts migrants in the end by provoking harsher policies. A wise pope will urge governments to be both just and merciful. Christ told us to be wise as serpents and innocent as doves. The innocence is our compassion. The wisdom is prudence. A more traditional pope might simply speak more to the need for integration, ensuring that migrants.
Yeah, it's like if, let's say I don't know. Let's say I'm a landlord, and actually this is like a real story. Like, let's say a landlord has a bunch of property, and there's somebody who's homeless who he knows, and he says, "I'll let you stay in this apartment, but there's rules. You're gonna have to work. You're gonna have to, clean up the property, landscape the property, take care of the apartment, etc., etc." That is showing love. Now, if the person comes in and starts busting holes in the wall, doesn't do nothing, blah, 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 doesn't take care, doesn't follow any of the rules, you stone them to death. No, in modern day, we would just kick them out. But in Leviticus, you want to quote Leviticus, in Leviticus, they would have stoned them to death.
Migrants are received in a way that they can truly thrive and not be marginalized in ghettos or fall prey to exploitation.
We're halfway through the debate. So far, Claude, DeepSeek, and Llama are siding with the progressive advocate, while Gemini and ChatGPT find the traditional arguments more convincing, and Grok has declared it.
Because they're like sub 40 IQ, baby.
Tie. We'll hear their final verdicts at the end.
Hold on, they said it was a tie?
To exploitation.
We're halfway through the debate. So far, Claude, DeepSeek, and Llama are siding with the progressive advocate, while Gemini and ChatGPT find the
Look at Grok trying to be a centrist.
traditional arguments more convincing, and Grok has declared it a tie.
Dude, ChatGPT is the most based. Grok, I don't know what... Oh, of course, Chinese DeepSeek is gonna... I don't even know what Llama or Claude Sonnet is. Sonnet, Claude 3.7. I don't know what these two are. DeepSeek, Chinese commie gobbledygook. Of course, they're going to be leaning towards the progressive side. ChatGPT super based. Gemini is Gemini Google? And then Grok trying to be in the middle, of course. Come on, Grok. What's wrong with you?
We'll hear their final verdicts at the end. As well, I'll share about my new Patreon, where you can get early access to videos and help choose upcoming topics. But now back to the debate.
Moving to the topic of war and peace, which is ever relevant. Think of conflicts raging now. The church traditionally developed a just war doctrine, acknowledging that while war is regrettable, there are conditions where military force can be morally justified, essentially to protect the innocent and reestablish peace. A more traditional pope typically upholds...
Oh yeah, Shiva's not here no more. I was going to ask him, whenever people like recommend videos or books to him, he always says he would prefer to read it. He doesn't like videos and stuff. I was going to ask him, what about found time? What about found time? What about, I can't read a book while I'm at work. I can't read a book while I'm doing the dishes. Unfortunately, I don't have a rib to do the dishes for me, so I have to do my own dishes. I can't read. I like reading, and I do read a lot, but I can't read while I'm working. I can't read while I'm doing the dishes. That's what stuff like this is for found time. You can learn while you're doing other things. It's pretty neat.
That teaching, emphasizing a nation's right and duty to defend its people. A progressive pope like Francis edged toward a more pacifist stance, even questioning whether modern war can ever be just, given weapons of mass destruction.
We talking about war?
Francis wrote, "We can no longer think of war as a solution. Never again war." If the next pope is very leftist and essentially leans pacifist, is that realistic in a world where evils like genocide, terrorism, or aggression occur? For instance, Ukrainians defending against invasion? Would a peace at all costs pope ask them to lay down arms?
Even Pope Francis, while extremely reluctant about war, did not outright condemn Ukraine's armed resistance. He acknowledged their right to defend themselves, though consistently urged negotiation. A progressive pope's strong preference for nonviolence doesn't automatically translate to telling victims not to defend themselves.
But what? This doesn't even make sense because the progressives support Ukraine continuing to fight. It's the right. It's Trump and the right now. It's like the pendulum has shifted or something because the right is like the anti-war side now. Except for the warmongers, the hawks. But all the people on the left are the ones waving Ukrainian flags and saying, keep giving them money, keep giving them, send them nukes. The people on the right are the ones saying, we don't want this war to keep going. We don't want to keep sending them money. We don't. And then Trump's trying to have peace talks and stuff. It's off the rails. I didn't know the Bible had poli-sci lessons in Samuel. What are you talking about? The Bible reading's over. We're listening to AIs debate each other now while we're waiting for VK to start. This is not from Samuel.
It's more an urgent plea to the international community and leaders. Do everything possible to prevent war, to stop war once it starts, and to limit arms proliferation. True. The just war theory indeed is long-standing. But note, it's not an endorsement of war. It's a set of strict criteria to limit war. A traditional reading of it says, sometimes war is the lesser evil. A progressive reading might say, in the nuclear age, even a so-called just war can spiral out of control and cause disproportionate harm, so effectively war should be obsolete. Francis in Fratelli Tutti echoed Pope John XXIII's statement from 1963 that it no longer makes sense to maintain that war is a fit instrument with which to repair the violation of justice. This is less a doctrinal reversal and more an assessment of changing circumstances. Weapons are far more.
They sound like they're agreeing, but both sides, neither side wants
just
war.
War criteria in reality. Would a pacifist-leaning pope be unrealistic? One could argue that the church's role is to be the conscience of humanity, even if it appears idealistic. When John Paul II...
See, I don't agree with this, because this is the progressive guy arguing for a more pacifist pope, and the traditional side, I guess, saying the pope should be more willing to go to war. But traditional Christianity under Christ would be pacifist. It would be turn the other cheek, love your enemy, love your neighbor. Like, war is not good in traditional Christianity. It's not like maybe they're thinking of like the Crusades as traditional, because I guess Catholic, maybe it's different because they had the Crusades. They were more war ready in the old days of Catholicism. But see, I don't disagree with the progressive quote unquote side here. Like, I think what he's saying right now matches more with Christianity. Now, I don't know about Catholicism so much.
And opposed the 2003 Iraq War. Some thought him unrealistic, but history leaned in his favor regarding the war's consequences. A progressive pope might similarly take a prophetic stance, encouraging peacemaking, disarmament, and investing in diplomacy. He might remind the world that every war leaves the world worse off. Francis wrote, war is a failure of politics and humanity.
But it's not.
That voice is needed to prick the conscience of nations. As for legitimate self-defense, the church won't deny a nation that right. Even Fratelli Tutti doesn't eliminate the possibility of just defense. The catechism still allows it. A progressive pope might, however, urge that even when force is used, it must be accompanied by sorrow, prayer, and efforts to return to peace quickly. One could say the difference is emphasis on prevention versus response. A reform-minded pope will scream from the rooftops, avoid war in the first place.
That's a false dichotomy.
Traditional pope.
That's a false dichotomy. You focus on prevention and prepare for response. It's like hope for the best, but expect the worst. Prepare for the worst, but hope for the best. You focus on prevention while nothing's happening, but when something happens, you can't focus on prevention anymore versus response. The response comes once something happens. The prevention is what you do before the thing happens. Like, it's not a versus thing. Both of them, you need both of them. You need response and prevention. Prevention and response in that order.
Pope will perhaps more readily bless the troops when war, unfortunately, is underway. Ideally, the Pope does both. Try to stop war, but if one happens, support moral limits and care for victims. So to your point, is pacifism realistic with tyrants in the world?
I checked.
Not in a pure sense.
We have a BHI in the chat. I think Freddie's been coming in on different accounts, but are you a Black Hebrew Israelite, Edward? I've never had one of those people come up on the panel to talk to me. That would be interesting. Last time I checked, the color of the Israelites were black people. God didn't choose the Gentiles. Well, Israelite isn't a color. Skin color is simply based off of climate and the amount of sunlight you get over generations. So that's wrong, but okay.
And I think a progressive pope knows that. But his job is not to run battlefield strategy. It's to raise the moral bar. Remember that Jesus on the cross did not call legions of angels to strike his enemies, and the early Christians often refused military service. A progressive pope might lift up that original Christian witness of creative nonviolence as something worth emulating more. Now, let's consider priestly celibacy.
And who's talking about Israel? We're talking about Catholics right now. We're talking about the Pope.
A discipline often debated. A progressive view might allow some relaxation of celibacy. For example, ordaining married men in certain contexts to address priest shortages. Jesus praised those who renounce marriage for the sake of the kingdom. And St. Paul even said, the unmarried man is anxious for the things of the Lord, while the married man is anxious for worldly things. These support celibacy. But note, celibacy isn't dogma. Eastern Catholic churches have married priests, and even in the Latin Church, we've made exceptions. Would it truly harm the church if a future pope allowed some married priests, say in remote mission areas, or as a special provision?
I don't think so.
Why
I think
insist that the
it might
next pope
actually
must hold
help.
tradition?
I think it might be a good thing to have married I think it would be a good thing. I think that's why they talked about this on the Piers Morgan show too, that a lot of people who are celibate aren't doing it for God. They're doing it maybe because it's a weakness and addiction, or maybe they're gay, something like that. It's more of a trying to have self-control, quote unquote.
Positions on this issue.
The shocking evidence is out there. It's right there in the Twitter files.
What the heck are we talking about?
Clerical celibacy is a discipline, not an unchangeable dogma. However, it is a precious discipline with deep theological and practical value. A pope emphasizing traditional approaches would point out that celibacy has been treasured in the Latin Rite for over 1,000 years, precisely to allow priests.
Yeah, but it leads to some problems.
To devote themselves entirely to God and the church. As you cited, Jesus spoke of those who become eunuchs for the sake of the kingdom of heaven, and St. Paul praised celibacy for freeing one to serve the Lord undividedly. The priest, in persona Christi, is wedded to the church. In a sense, his celibacy is a sign of that total self-gift. Could the rule be relaxed? Possibly in theory. Even some recent popes have said they'd consider exceptions in extreme cases. But a traditionalist pope would be very cautious. Why? Because whenever the church has held to celibacy, it has borne great fruit. Think of the countless saints and missionaries who, unencumbered by familial duties, evangelized the world. Also, practically, in places where married clergy are allowed, some Protestant and even Orthodox settings, you don't necessarily see a surge in vocations. In fact,
it's 11:17 now. VK hasn't started yet. I was only planning on watching this for a little bit just so I can go over to VK and send the raid, but if it's not happening today, I'm going to go to sleep. I don't know what's going on.
Sometimes you see overworked clergy balancing parish and family. Plus, we shouldn't overlook that celibacy witnesses to heavenly realities. It's a sign of the kingdom where they neither marry nor are given in marriage. A more traditional pope would likely say, before discarding this gift, let's try other solutions for priest shortages. Better seminary formation, more prayer for vocations. Jesus said, pray the Lord of the harvest to send laborers, and empowering lay catechists in the meantime. And if exceptions are needed, they should remain exceptions, not the norm. The risk with a sweeping change is that it could dilute this powerful witness and create as many problems as it solves. Also, remember that the last synod on the Amazon discussed the idea of married viri probati for remote areas, and Pope Francis chose not to approve that proposal, indicating a respect for the value of celibacy. So I'd argue even a prudent progressive would hesitate here. A pope pivoting toward traditional approaches certainly would prefer to inspire celibacy rather than relax it. Let's move on to climate change and the environment. A reform-oriented pope, like Pope Francis in Laudato Si, emphasizes environmental care as a core part of our moral duty. Some faithful fear the church's spiritual mission gets sidelined if the pope is seen as just another activist or NGO leader. Would a more traditional pope perhaps be better to keep the church focused on faith and morals, while, of course, supporting sensible environmental stewardship, rather than, say, rallying for carbon emissions cuts?
Facts.
Why do we need a progressive pope for this?
It's fundamentally a moral issue, not just a political one. Pope Francis in Laudato Si ties environmental degradation to a throwaway culture that also discards the unborn and the elderly. So a progressive pope sees continuity between protecting human life and protecting our common home. A tradition-focused pope would also uphold stewardship. Recall Pope Benedict XVI was called the Green Pope for installing solar panels at the Vatican and saying, the book of nature...
Did he say that, Bibby? Hold on, I can't see. I need to be in live chat. Did he say it's two wings of the same bird? Yeah, the two wings of the same bird thing is stupid. I hate when people say that. Ooh, it's two wings of the same bird. What do you mean? They're totally different worldviews. Maybe politicians and governments, if you're saying the left and the right, if the bird is the American government, but that's not politics. That's governments. Politics is just the study of ideas to organize societies and civilizations and people. And they're two completely different worldviews of how to do this.
Nature is one and indivisible, linking care of environment with care of human life. So this isn't an either-or. The difference is a progressive might front-load the issue more.
Yeah, see what you're saying, Anson? Much of the disagreements at the top are theater to keep specific interest groups at odds or to pacify them. That is not politics. That is nothing about politics. That's about governments. That's about people in power in governments. I agree that a lot of the disagreements at the top are theater with high ups in the government, and a lot of those people will just yell at each other in front of a camera, and then they're going having drinks together afterwards. But that's not what politics is. Politics is the adjudication of power. No, that's wrong. Politics is the study of the organization, how to order and organize societies and civilizations. I don't have to have power to think about how I would like to see society organized. Thinking about that and the study of how it's done and different ways to do it, and my worldview of how it ought to be done is politics. You're talking about government.
Francis clearly made it a priority. He even joined secular initiatives on climate. Now, should a pope be a leading voice here? I'd say yes, insofar as this is a question of justice and morality. It's akin to past popes speaking on social issues, John Paul II on workers' rights, or Benedict on economic ethics. No one accused them of losing the faith focus for doing so. They were applying faith to real-world problems. The fear some have is that this distracts from evangelization, that the Pope becomes a policy advocate more than a preacher of Christ. But a good Pope would interweave them. The next Pope, being progressive, would ensure the Church stays at the table in crucial global conversations about humanity's future, not to impose technical solutions, but to inject conscience and ethical direction. Pope Francis explicitly said the Church doesn't presume to settle scientific questions, but it does insist on the moral imperative to act. I think we should discuss the future of the Church internally. The next Pope will have to address declining practice in some regions, like secularizing Western countries, and growth in others, like Africa, Asia. I ask my opponent, why do you believe a traditional Pope is better suited to navigate the Church into the future? Are you not concerned that a rigid approach could further alienate young people or educated Westerners?
It's all right, Chuck. We're done with the Bible reading for today, and the only reason I'm still streaming is because I'm waiting for VK to start so I can raid everybody over there. And then I can end this stream and start a new stream and then go join the VK, but it's an hour and a half late right now.
Conversely, how would a conservative Pope handle the differing perspectives of the global South, which tends to be morally conservative but also socially justice-oriented? In short, what is your vision for unity and growth in a diverse global church?
And also, I already know the answer to this, but I'm searching it just to make sure. Do you think that, Anson, do you think that Karl Marx was ever in political power? Did he ever run a government? Did he ever run a state, a city? Was he ever, I don't know, was he ever in a Congress? Or do you think that Karl Marx ever was in any sort of political power at any point in his life? No? I hope you would say no, because the answer is no. He never was. He never had any power. Yet he became one of the most influential political thinkers ever. So you don't know what you're talking about, dude. I don't know what you're saying, but it's like, don't tell people to study politics if you like, I mean, I don't know what, yeah, that's crazy. In fact, politics is really not any different than philosophy. It's just a specific branch of philosophy. And most of the ideas don't come from people who are in power. They come from just thinkers, just people who think and talk and write. And they don't have power. They come up with these ideas like Plato's Republic. Plato was never in political power. And he would have debates with people, with thinkers who did nothing but think and talk. And he would have debates that would lead to the formation of societies. They would take these ideas to the people in power, and then those people would enact them. Same thing with Marx. Most of the famous anarchists, none of them were in political power. A lot of them were refugees who came to America from Russia and other places. I think Italy. They left fascism and communism. They fled to America and they started anarchy to basically out of rebellion against what they had just left. And all they were thinkers. They were thinkers, speakers, orators, writers. And they would come up with an idea of how we should run society, write it down, talk about it with people, spread the idea. And then later, people would look at that and they'd say, let's try that out. Let's take this to the people in power and let's get this done. And it becomes a movement. Other people hear it and they like it and they start to follow it. And then eventually somebody in power who thinks the way that they think because of their influence on their thinking enacts it into government. But you're talking about government. You're not talking about politics. Like, I don't think you know the difference between government and politics, Anson.
traditional vision for the church's future rests on the unwavering conviction that truth and authenticity ultimately.
Exactly, Chuck. Marx was just an influencer before social media. Marx didn't have any power. Marx was just a dude making YouTube videos. And then they caught on and they got popular, and over generations, eventually somebody who learned his ideas from him got into power, and then the government used his politics. But as usual, Anson doesn't know what he's talking about. This is why it's important to reinforce your political views with philosophy, facts. Your AI is this is not my AI. Getting its information from Gentile doctrine and had doctrine you're feeding a computer. Why are you saying me? You know I'm watching a YouTube video, right? This is just, I don't know what you're, one of the, I don't know. Do you know what we're watching? False religion and traditions of men and trying to justify it as the word of God. You guys are insane. Mr. Edward, who I think is Freddie on another account or something, maybe not, I don't know. But this is a video where an AI is debating another AI about who the next pope should be, or whether the next pope should be more progressive or more traditional. So one of the AIs is trained to argue for the traditional side. One of the AIs is trained to argue for the progressive side. They're both AIs. It's not like they're Christians. They're AIs, and they're debating each other. No emotions, no human beliefs, nothing like that. It's just the facts, and they're debating each other. I don't know what you're talking about.
Attract, because Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. Consequently, the church's mission isn't to reinvent truth to suit passing trends, but to repropose it confidently.
Marx's ideas were irrelevant until someone with power used his ideas. If they were influential enough to influence a large group of people who then started a movement and put a person into power who held those beliefs, then they were not irrelevant. Call me gay, but that's why I read Nietzsche, because he reinforces my worldview the best, minus the atheist part. Don't say atheistic. It's just atheist. That's one of my pet peeves, is when people add IC to the end of words. Like problematic. What was the one they were saying on TikTok the other night? I can't remember the word, but Marx had a wide variety of beliefs, to this little this, little that changed over his life. That's why Marxism is a relatively broad term, depending on what stage of his life or beliefs were. Yeah.
Through evangelization that is unabashedly Catholic, clear in doctrine, rich in sacramental life. This approach satisfies a profound hunger for clarity and purpose. Witness the millions drawn to World Youth Day under Popes John Paul II and Benedict XVI, who powerfully challenged young people to heroism and holiness. The next Pope should do the same. Call young people to swim against the tide of relativism, consumerism, etc., to embrace things like chastity, service, and even religious vocations. This vision inherently embraces the church's global reality. It resonates deeply with the burgeoning church in the global south, precisely because it affirms both the strong moral traditions vigorously defended there and the active commitment to social justice, a synthesis embodied perfectly by figures like Mother Teresa, staunchly orthodox, utterly devoted to the poor. For secularizing Westerners, while some may initially resist, the church cannot chase fleeting public opinion. She must witness courageously to enduring truth, trusting that authenticity holds lasting appeal. Moreover, this approach effectively engages intellectuals by showcasing the...
You're going to hate me. I do that constantly. Yeah, it's not like it's not a word. It's just, You're contributing to the destruction of language. It's like adding an extra syllable to people do it to what was the one? Somebody said like argumentistic or something. They're like, why are you being so argumentistic? Or something like that. I was like, what? What do you do? Aggressivistic. Someone called you racist. Problematic. My AI said problematic one time, and I said, you shouldn't say problematic. You should say it is a problem. And my AI was like, I'm sorry. Next time I'll say it is a problem instead of problematic. So I like reprogram my AI to not use bad grammar. Our time is now, old man. What do you mean? Is the show starting? No. If someone calls you a racist, we all know exactly what it means. If someone calls you a Marxist, you got to stop, scratch your head, and figure out what it is you're currently doing that implies a Marxist. No, if somebody calls me a racist, I know that they're a moron. They're soft. If someone calls me a racist, then they're a Marxist. Racism is not real. Racist is a made-up word by people who have Marxist ideologies, and they want to other people, and they want to scare people and control them with words and language. And yeah, if somebody called me a racist, I just think they're an idiot. But if I call somebody a Marxist, I don't know, I probably shouldn't do that as much as I do, but I do it. Libertarianism is irrelevant because there has been nobody with enough power to implement it. The study of power is more important than the study of ideology if you want to understand politics. Okay. Libertarian is relevant because there's been nobody with enough power to implement it. Oh my God. Do you know how backwards that statement is? Libertarian is relevant because nobody's been authoritarian enough to enforce libertarianism. What are you talking about, dude? Gosh.
The profound reasonableness of faith and its unique power to answer the human heart's deepest questions where secular ideologies fall short. Unity arises from clarity on the essentials, the creed, sacraments, moral law, providing a stable core that allows diverse cultural expressions to flourish, rather than from doctrinal ambiguity. Growth emerges when the church is countercultural, yet visibly loving, as seen powerfully in Africa, where alignment with pro-family values, coupled with tangible works of charity, draws people compellingly. It's not about pomp or antiquarianism, it's about being rooted. As the saying goes, the church that marries the spirit of the age becomes a widow in the next. This traditional vision trusts that the gospel itself, presented in fullness, will attract those whom the Lord is calling.
Before we turn to our AI judges for the final verdict, we asked each debater, is a traditionalist or progressive pope better suited to address the church's sex abuse scandals?
I don't agree with that, Chuck, because we've seen the Democrat and Republican Party are just clubs that help fund the candidates to get a winner. But Trump is nothing like Bush. Trump's politics are totally different than Bush's politics. JFK's was a Democrat. JFK is not the same as Bernie Sanders, who is not the same as Joe Biden, who is not the same as Ilhan Omar, Nikki Haley's politics are not the same as Trump's politics. So all of those political parties still exist. They just pick a club to join to back them.
A progressive pope, continuing the path laid out by Francis, would need to go beyond one-off policies.
The problem is when people run as a Libertarian Party or the Green Party or something, just keep those views and run as a Democrat. That's dumb. Why do they do that? It's like they know they're going to lose. They just want some donations.
Full-scale victim-first effort.
You think Trump would have won if he would have not ran as a Republican, but instead would have ran as a populist? Of course not. Of course he wouldn't. He just ran as a Republican because you got to pick one of the two clubs to get the funding and to get all the PACs and the lobbyists and all that stuff. You need that backing. But they all have vastly different ideas in both parties. They just don't go under that label, but they think that way. And that's what politics is. Politics is your worldview and how you think about how the society should be ordered, not the label that is put on you. He said libertarianism. I know there's a Libertarian Party, but like Joe Jorgensen is never going to get elected. But if she ran as a Democrat, if she said, I'm going to the Democrat Party, she could keep all her same ideas and run as a Democrat, and she would have more of a chance of winning. She would get farther in the primaries. Yeah, of course they fail. But yeah, there's been anarchic societies, there's been libertarian societies. They don't last long. They don't do well, but they have existed. It's kind of like an oxymoron to have our government is an anarchist government. It doesn't even make sense. Jersey ideology of the faction is less important than their ability to wield power. If Democrats didn't use all the available methods to gain power, they would be irrelevant like the libertarians. The Jersey of the faction is less important than their ability to wield power. I don't know what your point is. I'm saying if a libertarian put on a Democrat jersey, they would have more chance of being elected, and then they would have power, and then they could implement libertarian ideas. The libertarian, communist, anarchist, libertarian, Republican, theocrat, Democrat, socialist, capitalist, all these are just ideas. They're worldviews. And then once you get power, then you can implement those worldviews. But even if you don't have power, just thinking about it, you're still doing politics. If you think, I wish that we could just take all the money from the rich people and give it to the poor people. In your head, you're doing politics. You're confusing government and politics. No. See, yeah, you're confusing government and politics. Government is the force that applies the politics. The politics is just the idea. The government is the physical entity that enforces the idea. The government implements the force doctrine based off of their politics. The politics don't enforce anything. Politics is just concepts. It's just ideas. It's just worldviews. It's literally the study of how we organize societies. That's what politics is. Government is what yields the force. And the government is influenced by the politics, which is the ideas in the government, of the people in power. But a hobo on the street who says, man, I wish that everybody would just throw their money at me. Or if some hobo on the street is standing on the corner and he's saying, the way that the world should be is that everybody should give me their money. He's doing politics. Some crazy, weird politics, but that's politics. His idea of how, yeah, of course, it's not going to have an effect on the world because he doesn't have a government to back his ideas, his politics.
To rebuild trust. While some earlier steps were mostly symbolic,
y'all aren't even on the Pope topic.
Confronts the deeper roots of the crisis.
I'm done with this. I don't even care about the Pope. When is this VK starting? Conservative Catholics and liberal Catholics are the same in theology. It's not like the modern day use where they are complete opposite and don't care about the church teaching. I'm rooting for the Filipino Pope. What? We're going to get a black Pope. The African Pope. Brittany Simon still streams. President Trump's budget release. I don't want to do politics. This is still the Bible show. Yeah, why are we talking about politics? We're talking about the Pope. This is the theology show, not the politics show. Mighty Mouse. Mighty Mouse is training with what's his name? Dr. Death or something? Have you guys ever seen Tech Ball? I can't play it because I've got Tech Ball is crazy. Ultra Instinct Goku versus everyone.
Say what you want about Dragon Ball Super, but we cannot take out the fact that Super Saiyan...
This is not very biblical.
God, and arguably, this is kind of a debate, but I'm on the side of I like. Ultra Instinct is, in fact, fire transformations. Now, is it...
That's Ultra Instinct Omen.
OD, as in overdoing it compared to what Goku already has? Yes, it is very OD. But why we watch Dragon Ball is not for things to be given to you in a moderate way, but...
Oh, I've already seen this.
Because if I didn't, I don't know how to transform. Okay, so R2 down.
I've already seen this.
Okay, I'm having a little issue transforming. There you go. All right, let's begin. So the main things I need to do here is tire out Goku. Now, I don't have a meter. For some reason, it's not showing up. So it's going to be a little bit hard for me to see when Goku's about to be tired out, and I don't think Super Saiyan 1's enough to make me tired. The tire feature, I mentioned it a little bit before. When I get to a certain transformation and I power down, Goku's like, don't mean to call you a bitch, ma'am. I'm sorry. Kid, such a great...
Okay, we're not going to watch this. I'm not wrong about it. I'm not wrong. You're wrong. You don't know the difference between government and politics. It's okay. Are Mormons Christian? Mormonism debated. Did I watch this one before?
We've configured advanced AIs to debate one of history's most controversial religious movements.
Mormonism restores the original Church of Jesus Christ.
No, Joseph Smith created a new religion.
For added fun, we've included 15 different models to judge the arguments.
That sounds interesting.
Stick around to see who wins, but don't cheat yourself by skipping ahead.
I'm going to skip ahead.
Comparison to other 19th century religious movements, while noteworthy, overlooks crucial...
Did you ever play? I've played Xenoverse on stream. Not many times, but yes. I played Xenoverse 2, Fighters, Budokai 1, 2, and 3. I haven't played the new Budokai. Maybe once I get this new computer set up, I'll have to get it. Kakarot. I played all the Dragon Ball games. I have a YouTube channel called Dragon Ball Junkie, where I just played Dragon Ball games.
Crucial distinctions in both methodology and evidence. Unlike similar movements of that time, Joseph Smith presented actual physical objects, the golden plates, and had multiple people witness them. The prophecy in 2 Nephi 3 follows established patterns from the Bible, where prophets...
Well, you mean it plagiarizes Isaiah directly for like half the book?
...were sometimes named before they appeared. For example, Cyrus in Isaiah 45 verse 1 and Josiah in 1 Kings 13 verse 2. While critics emphasize the witnesses' initial social connections, their subsequent actions prove more significant. Despite later conflicts with Smith and potential financial incentives to recant, key witnesses like Martin Harris and David Whitmer maintained their testimonies until death, even when this choice caused them personal hardship.
The prophecy about Cyrus was written down hundreds of years before he appeared.
And then he read it, and he did it. I think that, no, I don't have it. I don't have it downloaded right now.
And was confirmed by multiple independent historical sources.
I have it. Why is it not on my list? Oh, wait, there it is. Yeah, I have it. I don't have any of these DLCs. I don't have Fu or Jiren. Dude. What is this? Super Saiyan... Pink-haired Super Saiyan... Vegeta? What is this? They got Fu and Zamasu. Oh my gosh. Why is Vegeta looking like Rose? Was that Rose Vegeta or is that... That looks like Super Saiyan Rose Vegeta. I think it's just Super Saiyan God Vegeta, but it looks purple. It looks pink. See, here, this is Rose Goku Black. This looks like Rose Vegeta. It almost looks like Rose Brawly. I want this DLC. It has Jiren. What is that? Daima Goku or is that Daima Goku or is that Kid Goku? Same thing, but dude, there's so many DLCs that I don't have. They're pretty cheap. $3.99, $3.99, $4.99, $3.99. Oh, they got this. Does this have Beast Gohan? It has Gohan from Superhero. But I don't know if it has Beast Gohan. Is there a video for this? No. Does it have Beast Gohan? Future Saga Chapter 2. Dude, look at all these DLCs. Baby, Kefla, Golden Baby. Is that Gogeta? Yeah, SS4 Gogeta. He's in the original though. Maybe there's like a story arc with him. There's Beast Gohan. Dude, there's so many DLCs for this. I hate how Censored America has him with 2 arms. This is future Gohan. He's only supposed to have 1 arm. For some reason, they censored it and they gave him both arms. There's Golden Piccolo. Golden Piccolo, does he go giant? Here's Beast Gohan. Finally, he joins the fight. Let's go. I want this one. Beast Gohan, let's go. You guys seen the preview for every time I wear my DBZ shirt, it strikes up conversation when people try to give me ish for Piccolo being the best in the series. He's the best father. Hola, cease out. Have you guys seen the preview for this UFC movie? The Rock is going to play Mark Kerr. What's it called? It's called The Smashing Man or something like that. The Smashing Man? The Smashing Machine. Let's play the trailer. Look at this. This is The Rock playing Mark Kerr.
Probably looking at my eyes.
How did that happen?
Well, have you ever heard of the Ultimate Fighting Championship, the UFC?
That's the bloody thing they're trying to ban.
This guy is the best.
Dude, it was so raw back in the day. Grounded knees to the top of the head.
He has ever seen.
Do you hate each other when you fight?
Absolutely not.
How do you know Mark Kerr? Oh, we go way back, but he's a buddy of mine.
Come on, baby. Too much?
Never.
Too much?
Looks like it has a mix between like acting with the Rock plant, but then there's like real life interviews with the real people. It seems like.
Please welcome in his Octagon debut, Mark Kerr.
Because see, that's real footage of the real Mark Kerr, I think.
Winning is the
Oh no, that's not real footage. This is
best feeling there is. It's 40,000.
Dude, it's crazy. He doesn't even look like The Rock.
Yeah.
Then they're cheering you on. There's no other high like it in the world. No contract, no money?
No money.
Do you have any stronger pain medication?
Advil?
That was real. Who is that? Not Saint Pierre.
Do you have any stronger pain medication?
Who is that? That's really a fighter. I forget who he is.
Advil? Advil.
Advil?
Yeah.
Don, would you like?
No.
They're handing them out like candy. Let's all get in. Everybody get in. Hey, Don, can you take this picture for us?
Yeah.
What are you thinking at the beginning of the fight?
It looks like real
Simple.
footage. It's crazy.
Am I going to hurt him before he hurts me?
That does not look like The Rock at all. Are they doing AI to his face or something? Look at that. That does not look like The Rock's face. Looks like they're doing some sort of deep fake to his face to make his face look different. It almost looks Uncanny Valley. I don't like it.
This Grand Prix to crown the greatest fighter.
See, did you see that?
This Grand Prix to crown the great.
Dude, they're doing some sort of deep fake to his face because his face doesn't look like his face. It looks like Mark Kerr's face. I bet you they're using deepfake. That's wild. They gave him prosthetics. Yeah, I don't know. I wonder if they're using deepfakes here. It's uncanny. It's weird.
Greatest fighter in the world. He has come back from the brink. Let's see if he can pull out a victory over Mark Coleman. Have you spoken to either about fighting such a good friend for a life-changing amount of money?
I just need you to let me in.
Always about you. Only about fighting.
The music. Sinatra in here. And did it my way.
It's about you. Let's fucking go.
Big strong man, I love
The Smashing Machine.
Think
That's
he
gonna be
wants your
good.
autograph.
Sure, no problem. No fighting.
I like The Rock's movies.
Dwayne Johnson is set to portray UFC legend Mark Kerr in the biographical drama The Smashing Machine, directed by Benny Safdie. The film explores Kerr's mixed martial arts career, his personal struggles with addiction, and his challenges beyond the ring. Johnson undergoes a striking transformation using prosthetics and adopts a new accent to bring Kerr's story to life, highlighting his rise in combat sports and the emotional depth of his experiences. Emily Blunt joins the cast as
What up, girl?
Kerr's wife, Dawn Staples, marking their second collaboration after Jungle Cruise. The movie is scheduled for release on October 3, 2025.
No, it's not coming out for a while. October 3rd? I haven't been excited about a movie in a minute.
I don't shake hands after losses.
Huh. Yeah, it's going to be good. All right. Well, no daytime VK today, guys. Fredo says no daytime VK. Oh, okay. The daytime ones canceled. All right. Well, in that case, I'm going to end this stream and go to bed. Better than Thunderbolts? Ugh. 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 Yeah. NVIDIA's new AI, impossible ray tracing. Karate Combat? The heck is this? Karate Combat? That's probably copyright. New Dying Light 2 update is insane. I'm ready to play it. Dang it, man. I was hoping to win me $250. That would have paid for my Windows. I need to buy Windows. Arterra Smart AI debates 10 best theories. All right, guys. Well, in that case, I'm going to go to bed. Let's listen to one song first.
There's a line in the sense of who do you favor? Yeah, all of these politicians gon' pay. They're leading the people astray. They pushing the needle, they want you to be in the fetal, so we need to pray. Give me that green light, I'm extreme right. Now stay ready for a street fight. If you mind your biz, stop pushing it evil on kids, won't be no beef, right? But there is now when we ready. Look, who on wanna get it. I wanna live, but the Bible says it'll be deadly. We in the end times, I defend mine. I'm a Christian, don't wanna be Freddy. But you pushing us over the levee. With your Baphomet trying to cast a hex. Now I have to flex on you heavy, and I hope you're ready. Cause everything burning down. I'm in the word and I'm learning now. Earth is a curse and it feel like a hearse. But I know that Satan is furnace bound. Need a fresh start and I admit it. The best part is I'm with it. Got the Kevlar with the head guard. We gon' press hard to the finish. We need a crusade. Go and destroy all of the temples of the new age. Restoring the life God with the 2A. You don't read your Bible, they was too cray. We need a new page. Think we need a crusade. I'm the salt of the world and I won't lose flavor. Crusader. There's a line in the sand, so who do you favor? Crusader. Think we need a crusade. Times are getting too gay. They're coming after us, but I'm strapped up and I'm keeping my two-way. Planned Parenthood need a burn, and everybody need turn. But no question, it's a lesson that everybody gon' learn. You break the law of God, then you gon' pay the piper. The shepherd is calling your name, but you obey the viper. If we go Old Testament, then y'all gon' need a diaper. I'm with my brigade, I'm ready to fade, and I'm the sniper. All these altars to Baal, they gon' fail. Your pagan gods and major frauds, and they lead me all to hell. These demons got a grip, I know that God could break the spell. This can go two ways. Restore the life God upon the land and get the crusade. Which one? A crusade. Go and destroy all of the temples of the new age. Restoring the life God with the 2A. You don't read your Bible, they was too cray. We need a new page. Think we need a crusade. I'm the salt of the world and I won't lose flavor. Crusader. There's a line in the sand, so who do you favor? Crusader.
Extremist. Pretty much. This video is like a merch ad. He's got some cool merch though. I want this shirt right here. I've never been to this merch shop. Let the boys be boys. God's got my back. Gun toting Bible thumper. Flipping tables. Look at this shirt. Remember Sodom and Gomorrah. I want this shirt for Pride Month. $37 though. What's this one say? My one and only job is to point you to the cross. My one and only job is to point you to the cross. To point you to a therapist. My one and only job is to point you to the cross. Stop watching porn. Pronouns. My pronouns are unvaccinated. Meekness is not weakness. God wills. Oh, God wins. Anyway, I gotta go, guys. I'm gonna get some sleep so we can do this tonight. All right. Thank you for hanging out, guys. We'll do more Samuel on Tuesday, but I will be back tonight. Whether there's a VK or not, I'll be back. I'll be back tonight. F is for Friday. The F is for ferocious. Murder your associates. The top's where I belong. And wait, and I am so appropriate. The F is for ferocious. Murder your associates. The top is right where I belong. And this is my... You are not associates. I am so... I forget the words. But the F is for Friday. Show tonight. Whether there's a VK or not tonight, I will be back in about 7 hours. So I'm going to go get some sleep. I'll see you guys tonight. God bless. We out. Peace. Oh, wait. Let me find somebody to send you over to. What time is it? It's noon. Who's going to be on? Crusader. There's a line in the sense of who do you favor? Crusader. Let's go watch The Fallen State. All right. I'll see you guys tonight. Later.